for Education Matters, a weekly look at the real people and real stories in education across North Carolina.
Welcome to another episode of Education Matters, presented by the Public School Forum of North Carolina. I'm your host, Keith Poston. This episode, we're going to look at two topics centered on school funding. First, we're going to discuss the continuing debate over the new K-3 class size requirements passed by the General Assembly last year that school systems are warning will lead to major cuts in PE and arts programs. Then we're going to talk bigger picture with the author of a new report about the efforts to change the state school funding system. Like every week, before we tackle our main topic, we open with our segment we call Edlines. It's a quick scan of education headlines across North Carolina and the U.S. Last week, leaders from the North Carolina House and Senate were joined by representatives from the UNC system and the state's private colleges and universities to announce legislation to create a new North Carolina Teaching Fellows program to recruit new teachers into the state's classrooms. The program would focus on STEM and special education where critical teacher shortages exist today. If approved, the program would provide forgivable loans of up to $8,250 per year for up to 160 students each year to attend one of 5 teacher preparation programs that will be selected by a new commission. The loans will be paid off by teaching in a North Carolina school with faster payoff for teaching in a low-performing school. North Carolina's original North Carolina Teaching Fellows program was eliminated in 2011, and its last class of 500 teachers graduated in 2015. This new proposal comes at a time when the state's teacher prep programs are experiencing steep declines in new enrollment. Governor Roy Cooper delivered his first State of the State address this week before the North Carolina General Assembly. In his remarks, the governor emphasized areas where he hoped to find common ground and spent less time on some of the more headline-grabbing disagreements. Education priorities dominated his remarks, including early childhood education, raising teacher pay, and pitching his own version of a teacher scholarship program. Senate Leader Phil Berger delivered the Republican response, touting the GOP's track record of success, while also adding that Governor Cooper squeaked into office with no mandate. North Carolina's Senate leaders have filed legislation they say will address school infrastructure needs and school administrator pay. The proposed legislation would use proceeds from the North Carolina lottery to fund principal pay increases through bonuses and salary bumps that will be set by local school districts. The bill also would create a grant program for school construction in the neediest counties. Now, while school leaders praised the focus on principal pay and infrastructure, there was less enthusiasm about the idea of what amounts to block grants to districts for principal pay as opposed to directly funding base salary increases. Remember, you can visit the Public School Forum's website at ncforum.org, click Education Matters, and read more about each of these headlines as well as other topics we cover each week.